outlining his administration's priorities on the economy, immigration, election integrity, healthcare, and foreign policy. This morning, we are getting a reaction from both sides of the aisle to break down what it all means for people here at home. We begin with the U.S. representative from Florida's 1st Congressional District, Jimmy Patronis. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. Now, polls indicate Americans think the economy is worse than last year. Do you think people in Northwest Florida are better off or worse? What are your thoughts on that?
So you got to remember, we had 4 years of record high inflation, record breaking inflation under the Biden administration. I tell people, whenever you try to steer a mountain, it doesn't turn very quick. The policies we passed with the one big beautiful bill take a little while for them to truly hit home. Now, we've seen relief in gas prices. Matter of fact, in Northwest Florida has the cheapest gas prices of anywhere in the state of Florida. I gassed up last week at $2.29 a gallon. So there's certain things that we are seeing immediate impacts from, as the others take a while to correct. I'll remind you, when we did insurance reform in the state of Florida in December of 2022, I told people it's going to be 18 to 24 months before you see relief. It was a little bit longer, it was about 28 months, but even in my own home, my insurance premium went down by over $300. So whenever government makes a decision and you expect immediate results, it takes a while because it's got to get into everybody's business mindset. Prices have to become competitive. The market has to react with confidence. And this is why we had to pass one big, beautiful bill as quickly as we did to try to get that relief out as fast as humanly possible to be able to get to every kitchen table.
Now let's move things over to immigration, right? Polls also show Americans think immigration policies have gone too far. Yet the president made immigration reform a key component of his speech last night. Where do you stand on the president's immigration policies?
So again, you had to secure the border. In April 2024, I was on the southern border. It was not about humanitarian crisis. It was about guns, money, drugs, and human trafficking. And as you were having these epicenters of drug trafficking taking place in all of our large cities, they were literally distribution networks because the border was wide open. Again, it takes a while to start to see that correction. I appreciate how Tom Homan, who has been laser focused on getting the illegal criminals out of our country. And this is exactly what he has been focused on. What happened in Minneapolis needed to be de-escalated. Tom Homan's in charge. And we're going to focus on getting the criminals that are here harming our individuals. The president pointed out 11,000 murderers came across the border, murders that had broken the law, that actually had been convicted, but were released from foreign jails. We've got to take our country back from these criminals.
Yeah, another part that stood out to me from last night's address, the president says cheating in elections is rampant. Do you agree? And if so, where is the proof of that happening?
So I am a big believer and supporter of the Save America Act. I was a co-sponsor of it. Right now, you have to have an ID to buy a gun, buy cigarettes, buy lottery tickets, buy a beer, for God's sake. But you don't have to show an ID in order to vote. Everyone wants fair, transparent, and valid elections. I have no problem whatsoever having somebody show an ID or proof of citizenship when they vote for a federal election.
Now, the president ran on avoiding foreign entanglements, but as you know, we've had Iran, Venezuela, Greenland, and more. What do you think of his foreign policies and actions?
So this is where I think it was important that he elaborate on the importance of tariffs and creating leverage. Those tariffs have been used to stop more wars in his first term of office than any other president in the world. As we have economic relationships with these players that are in conflict, he basically said, you know what, we're going to stop these wars. We're going to stop the bloodshed. In Ukraine alone, there's over 25,000 deaths a month of soldiers. So, I mean, I do believe this president is the peace president, but he uses these tariffs in order to create leverage, because not in every set of circumstances do you want to park an aircraft carrier off the coast of China. But if you want to stop fentanyl, you have to go into Venezuela, shut down the drug distribution operations, as what you saw what happened in Mexico this past week. All those ultimately get back to the supply source in China.
Well, we certainly want to thank you, Congressman Patronis, for your time and your perspective this morning. Thank you again.